Welcome to our webinar. Today, we will be talking about our new release for our AI solution, iDrawing P&ID. Intelligent Product Solution is an AI engineering solution company. What we're trying to do is to engineer with intelligence to meet the engineer and digitalization needs. So the company is, as I mentioned, is an AI engineering technology and service company. Based in Vancouver, Canada. Our main focus area in the process industry, oil and gas, chemical, power industry, and now we're getting also into mining. What we do is we develop AI technology to digitalize engineering drawings and documents, mainly for the datasheet. We abstract data from those drawings and documents, then using that digital data for digital transformation, engineer design, or integrate them for a word process improvement. And the AI products we have developed now proven has been really improved the productivity to remove and reduce the manual work in the engineering process or digitalization process. As I mentioned, the company is based in Vancouver, Canada. We're mainly funded by Canadian government. Then we have now open office in India, fully operating there, and also we're looking at open another office in Asia at Engineering Support Center. Our customer mostly end customers are the owner operation companies, such like Shell, and our most direct customers are either an EPC company or digitalization service company. And we partner with different solutions like Hexagon, Viva integration. We also start to integrate with different digital twin companies to feed the data for our digital transformation purpose. And there are a list of customers and partners we have at different locations. We provide service mostly through our partners. We have a few very large partners globally from a service perspective. So today we'll talk about this iDrawing P&ID. iDrawing P&ID is an AI solution to digitalize engineering drawings, especially P&IDs. We do start digitalizing electrical instrument drawings mostly from a tech extraction for asset management perspective. For P&ID solution is actually focusing on not only abstracting tagging, we also generate deliverables, MTOs, and also we convert them into intelligent drawings such as Smart Plant, AutoCAD Plant 3D, and we are finishing Aviva end of this month. So the AI will look at the abstract drawing components, text lines, tags, symbols based on a customer standard. Then we're using that information to regenerate the drawings into different environment, as I mentioned earlier. The value of doing this is if you have to manually recreating these drawings from PDF or scanned documents, on average, you're looking at about 10 to 18 hours. And with AI solution, we will be able to detect and abstract data around 60 to 80%, recreate them. Then you leave another probably 1 to 5 hours for the cleanup and the final QA. So this drastically reduces your manual work from a conversion perspective. But for many companies, you just need to tag information MTO that will be even faster than this 50% of saving. So the process we have actually is over the years, we have developed this model. Now our AI model has been much matured, and the base model is basically based on more towards on a PIP standard. But we understand every engineering company, every clients have their own standard, and especially naming conventions tag. So we will configure our AI model based on your own standard, and also looking at the symbolics, whether you are very different with PIP standard. In some cases, we have to configure symbolics for model to recognize the symbols. And with the update model, then you'll be able to process loading the PDF or scanned drawing into our interface. Then the AI start detecting them, then we abstract data and reorganize data, going through other algorithm to look at connectivities and attributes intelligence of the drawings. Then from that, you'll be able to load this AI data into different solutions, then generate result as you need it. And as I mentioned, AI doesn't get you 100%, it gets you around 60 to 80% on average. Then you need to do manual finishing and quality check as needed for a typical engineering process. So the solution actually was originally released in 2020, early 2020, over the last year, and this year we have done quite a lot of projects with different companies. So far we have done over 30 projects with many large EPC and digital transformation partner with a couple of very large clients. So with the data improvement variations we have seen, our AI model is much more matured, and we also building a user interface for the benefit of checking and updating data directly in our solution. And also with this, now we're getting our work process more flexible to be able to deal with the variations from different standards, whether it's being design standard or operation side over years has many different standards. Then with the maturity of our technology and work process, now we're looking at additional time saving from configuration model perspective. And then with efficiency, now we're offering the market to much reduced price to benefit the industry. So today I will start looking at doing the demo for this product. So our product is offered, it is deployed on the cloud. This cloud can be our cloud, which is secured AWS cloud. Then also can be deployed on the client own cloud. For example, certain client operation company or engineering company have their own cloud environment, and we can deploy the whole solution on their cloud. The third option is actually for certain client, they actually also want us to deploy it on-premise, basically having a server to deploy it. But the looks and the functionality are exactly the same in 3 different options. So what you're looking at here is actually through the web portal we have. I'm putting into incognito mode for security reasons. Then we can access this through the portal and you can log in. And depending on what you are using for the solution, we have drawing solutions, we have document solution, as I mentioned. So today we're looking at the drawing solution, the PID. And under that product, when you have a project and when we configure the model for you, you will see a project there. This project actually is the AI model, which actually already be configured based on your engineer standard, your naming convention, your tag information. And when you go into this, you'll be able to upload drawing here. If you're selecting upload PDF, I preload the drawings for a demo purpose. And with that, you can see there are drawings being loading here. You can preview them. You can select one drawing, or you can select a deck of drawing to process together. And then with that, you can just process them. The processing time, depending on the complexity of the drawing and the configuration of the cloud, it goes to from 20-30 seconds to up to about 2-3 minutes. And also when the drawing is processed, all the data will be saved into a backend database. So next time when you want to fetch the data for this particular drawings, then you don't need to rerun it. So what you can see here is a detection of the drawing components. And what we do is we actually also develop this interactive UI. With this, to give you a very close look of all the AI detections. This interactive UI also allow you to do all the edit. You can review the data, edit the data, update the data. Okay. From this interactive UI, you can see a few things. On the left side, you can actually see this is our data structure. This is very much aligned to a typical engineering solution data structure. You can see there are equipment, there are instruments, there are piping components, there are lines, instrument lines, etc., and text. So this is how our AI data being organized. And on the right side, in the review session, you can see is all the components, whichever AI has the detection, they actually give, we call the bounding box. Basically, this is like your face recognition on your phone. You see there's the box around this thing to tell you what the component that is. So in this case, for example, this is the safety valve, and this detect this as what this, and also it gives the information where this component is located on this particular drawing. Then if there is an other engineering information around there, they'll cluster all this information into these components. That's for components. Then you have lines, right? And you have a line tag, all the different components being detected on this. Then the second thing is we develop this utility to be able to actually also making all the reviews and updates. For example, instruments, right? You will see each instrument, okay, when it's detected, you can review them. You can also look at them, for example, this way, to look at each one being detected. The reason we do this, obviously, one thing is you can collect more data as you go. You can add in if you're missing components, you can add components to be able to add them into the drawing. The second thing is for companies who actually only looking at doing the MTOs or tagging information, you can use this to look at, okay, is anything missing? Is anything not correct? And you just you can update them as it. For example, this was original detect. I deleted just for purpose to showing the update. Then you can update them, right? When you update this, then you will be able to get 100% of data from this. This has been used mainly a lot for the tagging extraction, the MTOs, those kind of usage. And the other reason we do this actually from a drawing conversion perspective, for people who are working and making correction here, they need a very limited engineering knowledge. Basically, it's that the data person can do this kind of work instead of you have to spend maybe $10 to $15 an hour, the drafting hours to making all this change in there. And after that, we have this interface to be able to looking at the deliverables. So the AI data will going through we call it a post-processing algorithm. So in this case, you will see the line list and to from information and what components actually running on that line. You have your instrument list. You have control valve, for example, in this safety device equipment. Those are our standard list. You can download them directly and to get into a list you want. Again, this can be running for a batch of drawings. So if you are abstracting data for, let's say, a unit, you want to see all the tag for the equipment for the unit, or all the tags for line tag for unit, you can do it at this point. So you're using multiple files if you're running 20, 30, or 100 drawings together. The next thing is actually obviously most companies are very interested on this conversion from historical drawing into P&ID, AutoCAD, the different systems. So here we actually download, you can download a data file. The data file actually gives you all the AI data. In this case, AutoCAD, we directly use AI data. This is our AI data from in the raw file, and you can see everything is components. Right? Is all the drawing become a components, and using that data, you can recreate that. For SPID, we actually reorganize data into a data structure which actually align to SPID data structure. So you will see, if you are familiar with SPID, you will see those data are actually organized in a way of how SPID data being organized into the database, right? One more thing I want to mention is at this point, this is our standard naming convention for our AI data. And if your SPID using different names or symbols, at this point you can replace everything using the mapping process to replace all the symbols, all the lines into your new standard. This has been used for companies who are trying to standardize their SPID using all the historical projects when they want to convert them into a one standard. So from there, basically we have different loaders. I don't have SPID, and also rendering drawing will take a few minutes. So this is the pre-record how the things being generated into the SPID environment. So we develop a loader. Basically, it's a plugin. The plugin will install when you open your SPID. We have this auto drafter. Basically, is an plugin. And with this, as I mentioned earlier, you can do the mapping to map everything into the new symbolic system. And you can also scale the drawing up and down to fit into a new standard. Then you can import the data. This can be done by single drawing, and also you can do batch. You can run a batch of drawing together. Let's just let the machine to run. So I will let it run a bit. Okay. So you can see the drawing be generated. You can see the attribute, the equipment attribute brought in. So it will showing on the attribute tables. So I will jump a little bit. You see this is how the drawing being rendered. In SPID, we also have to follow the sequence of operation in SPID. So we'll put the equipment first, and it will go into different components. Right. And when drawing is done, you can see the attributes in populated in the drawing. Okay. Because the data obviously is brought in from that loading sheet. In that loading sheet, everything is already attributed. Okay. So this is how that's been generated into the SPID. Obviously, this is the similar process in AutoCAD. Generally, the drawing for SPID takes about average about 3 to 10 minutes. The AutoCAD runs 3D or AutoCAD, simple AutoCAD. We can also convert to AutoCAD. Certain clients actually do convert to AutoCAD for their asset system. So AutoCAD generation is very quick. A generated drawing is basically just a flashing. It will be a few seconds. Similar thing, you will see the attributes being populated in there. Obviously, the system has to set up to be able to take the attributes in. So this also can be generating a very complicated the drawing as well. So we have done a lot of drawing in the oil and gas chemical side, and there are very complicated drawings than what I demoed here. On the Aviva side, we actually completed the beta version. There are a few things we need to finish the integration with Aviva. So when the data being put into Aviva loader, a couple of things needs to be adjusted there. But we already completed development work. We're looking at release the beta version end of this month. Then we're looking at the companies to basically pilot with us. So what we do is we provide, mainly we are a solution company. We provide solution as I showed on the cloud, or we provide the solution on the on-premise. And the service mainly provided through our partners. As I mentioned earlier, we have quite a lot of, whether it's been engineering company or digitalization service company, we have quite a few large service partners globally at different locations provide the best rate for you. And if you have a company you work with, we also be very open to work with them as well. So with that, actually, I will actually start question and answers if you have any, and I will answer based on the sequence. Right. Thank you very much.